Hey everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It is Tuesday. It's May 12th. It is 2026. We have 10 MLB games to talk about here on today's podcast. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Hope everyone had a fantastic Monday. Enjoyed having a Monday off. Me and my wife went to lunch for Mother's Day lunch since Sundays are so crazy with me for NASCAR. So did a little bit on Sunday, hung out at the pool with the kids, ate some burgers, but it was nice to go and eat some sushi and just kind of hang out. So hope everyone's having a great Monday night and ready to talk some baseball, get back in the swing of things here. 10 game slate, some interesting pitching options. I think that we'll have some very chalky options, and then after that it gets really interesting on like where this slate could potentially go with pitching. So yeah, what's up, Dave? What's up, chat? All right, yeah, let's jump in and see where the slate kind of takes us. Kind of a first look for me. I've been very I got home like 30 minutes ago, so um yeah. All right. Sorry, I had to pull up one more tab. We got Tampa Bay at Toronto. Shane McClanahan, Patrick Corbin, 8 total. Tampa a slight favorite in this one, which I found was a little interesting. I thought Tampa would be a little bit more favored in this game than not favored, but is what it is. Shane McClanahan, definitely somebody I'm interested on this slate. Like, the walks have definitely been better here recently. The pitching for McClanahan has been better here recently. Kind of had a shaky start to the season, but recently it's been a lot better. The one thing that's always concerning is like they only let him go 69 pitches the last time out because he got in trouble in the sixth, 5 2/3. It's not a really great outing. He's been very efficient, and like when he's pitching efficiently like this, like he's very much in play. You're obviously worried about Vlad, you're worried about Springer, you're worried about Okamoto, but overall, like Toronto's not a lineup that I'm necessarily like uber scared about facing left-handed pitchers. So I like the spot for McClanahan. I think again, like you look at the slate for pitching and it's kind of shaky. And Toronto, I mean, they're 17th in WRC plus, which is solid. They're 19th in WOBA against lefties this year. 19th in ISO. So like nothing great, nothing bad. We know that they're a team that puts the ball in play a lot, which could be a potential problem for McClanahan. But I think the slate definitely says let's play some McClanahan here. So I do like him in this spot. Other side of this game, we have good old Patrick Corbin. Corbin's been great against lefties this year. Just again, struggling with righties. I think that's just Patrick Corbin in a nutshell at this point. He's been serviceable, but not enough. Like his strikeout stuff is just not enough. I do like left-handed pitchers more against Tampa than right-handed pitchers because they do platoon a lot of these hitters in there. Like DeLuca will probably play here. Ryan Velotti. So Ben Williamson's another one they could platoon here. Nick Fortes. So like they platoon a lot of these right-handed hitters in the lineup. And they're not like the best right-handed hitters in the world. So like I like the spot. If Corbin has one bad inning, he just doesn't strike out enough hitters to really like get there. And I still, even on this slate, I don't think 14 to 16 DK points is enough, even at 6,900. So probably going to pass on Patrick Corbin. But respecting like how well he's pitched this year, he's only allowed a home run in 3 of his 6 starts this year, or 2 of his 6 starts. Just one of those his first start of the season, he gave up 2 home runs. So it's done a much better job this year of like limiting power, not really getting barreled a ton, and again, just really kind of dominating left-handed hitters when they leave lefties in there to face him. So, the bats here on the Tampa side, like Cam Nero, Yandy Diaz, like would be great plays here. You can play Diaz at first base, Cam Nero at third. I know Arnanda is like one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. But I don't love the lefty-lefty matchup for him at his price. So it'd probably be like one-offs. I don't know if I'd full stack or mini stack Tampa in this spot. I don't mind picking on Corbin, but again, like not really getting blown up this year. They don't have a lot of right-handed power in this lineup to beat him a lot. So I think realistically, if I was gonna do it, like Cam Nero, Diaz, maybe like a Williamson or DeLuca that's cheap, but the pinch hit risk is so high for any of these righties that start in this game because I mean they're all those lefties on layaway. On the Toronto side, you know, picking on McClanahan this year, he's done a really good job of generating a lot of ground balls, generating a lot of soft contact, not really getting blown up. He's only allowed one home run all season. Hasn't allowed an earned run over his last 3 starts, which has been fantastic. Like I said, he's been pitching very efficiently. If I was going to pick on him, it'd be Springer, Vlad, maybe Okamoto. But overall, like I like McClanahan more than I like the Toronto bats here. Detroit at New York facing the Mets. Sorry. We got Flaherty against Peralta in this one. This game has a 7.5 total. The Mets are a 140 favorite. Start here at Flaherty. Again, it's the same thing I've been saying for Jack Flaherty all season. The command is just all over the place. 16% walk rate. His whiff rate, 23%. Swinging strike rate, 9.4%. Looked really good last time out against Boston. 10 strikeouts in that game. 5 innings. But realistically, like, he really hasn't pitched good this year. Again, the command has just been a huge issue for him. Going up against a Mets team that tends to walk a lot. They're a very patient offense. So I don't think I like Flaherty in this spot. I like the ballpark. But that's really it for me. Like, if you look at this lineup, again, just a very patient lineup. Like, looking at it really quick here. Soto's a high walk. We already know that. But what's up, Richie? What's up, Razzles? Yeah, I mean, Fridays podcast, when there's a NASCAR race on Fridays, it's so hard sometimes. And it was just one of those days where it was really hard to do Fridays, and like Sunday nights, or especially Mother's Day. Like I was gassed. I slept for 12 hours last night. Peralta on the other side. I mean, I like Peralta a little bit here. Like again, Peralta is another guy that years past we love Peralta here, but the strikeouts down about 5% from last season. That's a lot. And I was looking at this his last start, but I'll pull it up again. And a lot of the advanced stats look pretty good for him. Just the K rate looks down. And very similar pitch mix to last year, but the whiff rate's just overall across the board. Like his whiff rate on this changeup is down 8%. His curveball whiff rate's down 2%. He's actually generating more whiffs with the slider, and he still throws that slow curve a little bit, but like his fastball is down velocity wise about a mile on average right now, a mile per hour. And it's really hurting the changeup and everything else. So like the velocity is just a little down here for Peralta. I don't hate this matchup against Detroit. As much as I don't mind like the Detroit bats, they do have plenty of strikeouts here. Torkelson's a big strikeout guy. Riley Green's a big strikeout guy. Depending on like Kerry Carpenter's a 25% guy. If Meadows is in there, he's a high strikeout guy. So depending on who's in the lineup here for Detroit, they're dealing with a lot of injuries. I forgot that Kerry Carpenter was on the IL. I saw that over the weekend too, and I totally forgot. So, and I know Parker Meadows is on the IL too. So it might be one of those situations where if Peralta can kind of get around like McGonigal and Green, Keith, like he'd be okay here. But in this ballpark, with the lack of pitching options that we have today, I think Peralta's fine. I don't know if Freddie Peralta is a high ceiling pitcher, but I think he's somebody that can get you like 18 to 22 points. Ballpark helps. The ballpark definitely helps here. Um, as far as bats on the Detroit side, it's kind of the guys I said, right? Like McGonigal, Riley Green, those would be the bats that I'd be kind of looking at here. Not super excited about playing bats on either side of this game. Um, you know, I don't mind picking on Flaherty because when you have a pitcher that's just struggling with command, like, those are the types of pitchers I love to stack against. But like the Mets just, I know they've been pretty awful to start the season. Like Soto is great. He continues to be great. But like Lindor's on the IL, Roberts on the IL, Polanco's on the IL. I mean, Bichette's cheap. So if you want to do like a 3-man here, Melendez would be my second favorite. He's 2,600. It's more of a price thing than anything else for Melendez. You go Soto, Melendez, Bichette, and it's like a pretty cheap mini 3-man stack here. So not my favorite offense. I think there's plenty of offense that we're going to talk about throughout the pod. And I just don't think this is one of the spots that I'm excited about. Cubs, Braves, Colin Ray, Grant Holmes, 9 total. Atlanta 130 favorite here. Yeah, 130 favorite. We'll start with Colin Ray. Played him quite a bit last time out in Cincinnati against Cincinnati in Wrigley with like a little bit of wind and cold, and he was okay. Okay. But like realistically, Colin Ray is a below average strikeout pitcher facing an offense that you really got to kind of attack here. So, 21% Ks on the season for Colin Ray. A lot of the advanced stats say like there's some regression coming to his numbers. So I think you could potentially like pick spots to play Colin Ray, but like overall, it's not great. Like he's getting hit very hard. His average exit velocity is really hard. His average like hard hit rate is like 46.6%. His xERA is like 450. So like there is a lot of like downside to Ray in the advanced stats. So I don't think I want to play Colin Ray today. I actually kind of like the Braves a little bit. We'll talk about them in just a second. Grant Holmes on the other side here, like my problem with Grant Holmes is like he's really solid against righties and he struggles with lefties. And the Cubs are going to be able to go very left-handed against him for the most part. Hap, Bush, PCA, Baltrois. I can never say the catcher's name. I need to look up how to say it. And like even the righties that they have in this lineup are honestly not that bad. Suzuki, pretty solid numbers this season. I'm interested, like Conforto is someone they probably get in the lineup here today as well. So yeah, I mean for me, I don't think I want to play a lot of Holmes just because, like, again, when you look at Grant Holmes' numbers, 17% Ks to lefties, 11% walks, does a decent job of ground balls, but still getting barreled pretty high, doesn't have a huge whiff rate, gives up a lot of hard contact, 59.8% against lefties, and his BABIP's very low, so he's run really well here. So Obviously the one thing, like if you're stacking against the Braves, their bullpen just continues to be really good. So if you're playing Cubs, just you kind of hope they hang a crooked number early here. I like the lefties if I'm going to play Chicago. I do like the Braves quite a bit in this spot. Again, a lot of the advanced numbers for Colin Ray suggest that like there's some regression coming here. I don't think he's going to be able to continue to have these low power numbers. So I want to play some of these left-handed bats. Olson, Baldwin, Michael Harris would be some of my favorites here. Dom Smith just continues to hit the ball. And no one ever plays Dom Smith because he bats towards the bottom of the lineup. But he's having a really solid season. He's hitting like 330. Michael Harris, 3,700, one of the better value plays on the entire slate. I know like he had a hot streak before he had the issues, but he's still a guy like 3,700 is too cheap for his upside. So Riley's still pretty cheap. Albies is right there, but I would build around Baldwin and Olson. I know like they're the two most expensive hitters on the Braves, but Olson just keeps crushing. Baldwin keeps crushing. I think there's enough value on the slate overall. So Kansas City at Chicago White Sox. 9 total in this game. Kansas City looks like a slight favorite here. Yeah, slight favorite for Kansas City, -126. Stephen Kolek against Eric Fetty. Um, you know, looking at the spot for Kolek, he only had the one start, right? Unless I'm missing something. Let me pull up his stats really quick. I think he's only had the one start this year. We've seen Kolek before. Was it 2024 or something? He just honestly just continues to project as like a below average strikeout pitcher. We saw him a little bit last year. He threw 112 innings last year, 16.7% Ks. Did a good job of like limiting home runs, but he's just a below average strikeout pitcher facing a White Sox team that really is not that bad. Way better than I think most of us kind of expected here. So I don't think this is a spot I want to play Kolek. Eric Fetty on the other side, another below average strikeout pitcher. Like I need strikeouts. I know like some of these guys could potentially get there, but like Fetty's just giving up home runs at like a huge clip right now. So I don't want to play either one of these pitchers. Watch the weather. I did notice like when I was looking earlier that this game has some potential weather. So obviously watch the weather. Give my good buddy Kevin Roth a follow over there and see what he has to say about weather. As far as the Kansas City bats, yeah, Kansas City bats, like Fetty is getting absolutely crushed by right-handed hitters. Kind of reverse splitsy this year. So like Garcia, like Witt. I obviously don't mind the lefties like Vinny P, Carter Jensen. Overall, I think this is a good spot for Kansas City stacks if the weather is okay here. I like both bats in this game, both sides. I like the White Sox side as well. Again, you get a below average strikeout pitcher, a Kansas City bullpen that continues to struggle. I think they are bottom 5, 5th or 6th. Both these bullpens are not very good. Both these bullpens get hit pretty hard. So when looking at the White Sox here, obviously Murakami is great. Montgomery is great. Vargas is having a solid season. Anasini is having a good season. So like the top half of this lineup is really good. When they let Drew Romo catch, I like that more. Do we know when Kyle Teal is going on a rehab assignment tomorrow. Another really talented young hitter that they're going to eventually get back in this lineup was a huge Red Sox prospect that was a part of the Garrett Crochet deal. Teal, I'm excited about Teal being back. Benintendi sat Sunday with a neck. They were off Monday, so I think this could be a spot where he's back in the lineup. But I would build around Murakami and Montgomery. Vargas is a little expensive over there on DraftKings, so I would prefer Montgomery and Murakami. Anasini is good price wise. Romo's 3,300. There's still cheap bats here. Benintendi sits. Peters could play at 2,500. So like both the bats in this one. Miami at Minnesota, 9 total. Pick'em game. Yuri Perez, Bailey Ober. In this one. Yeah, I mean, talk about this all the time, but Yuri Perez has very drastic like home road splits. And you see this a lot with pitchers. It's more comfortable to pitch at home. Um, but Yuri Perez in this spot going into Minnesota still has some strikeout appeal. Like he's still a guy that can generate strikeouts, but pitching on the road where he has been struggling recently anyway, I think I want to stay away from him here. He's kind of fringy. If you played 150, you'd probably have a little bit of exposure to Perez here. But Minnesota has been a team that hasn't been striking out a ton against right-handed pitching this season, like as a group. They do have I will say they have plenty of like strikeout bats in this lineup. Like when they put certain guys in there, like Wallner's a huge strikeout guy. Um, is it Outman? Is that the other one that's like in the 35% range, I think? So like when they're in there, you instantly bump up the pitchers when like Wallner and Outman are in there together because they just strike out so much. Like Clemens is a big strikeout guy, Royce Lewis is a big strikeout guy. So I say this is not like a huge strikeout team, but it's more of like the middle of the lineup. Bell's not a huge strikeout guy. Martin's not a huge strikeout guy. Keschel's not a huge strikeout guy. Brooks Lee puts the ball in play a lot. So it's kind of a split lineup between a lot of strikeouts and a lot of like contact guys. A lot of power potential, a lot of walks. Just tough for right-handed pitching. Minnesota has been this season. If this game was in Miami, I'd probably play some Perez more. For what it's worth. Bailey Ober on the other side here just continues to struggle with lefties. 14% Ks, 8% walks, 235 ISO, 37% fly balls. Just, yeah, I mean, 10.8% barrel rate, and he has a 180 BABIP. Like, he's just getting very, very lucky. Like, his numbers should be worse against lefties than they actually are this season. So, could you take shots on him? Sure. It's just when you're looking at these numbers for him against lefties, I'm not excited about playing him. Kind of like some of these Miami bats, I think they'll be pretty low owned here. Liam Hicks, like just smashing. I like him. I like Stowers, Marcy if he's in there. The other catcher that they've been using some as well, like if he's in there at he's 2.1K. You could play Hicks at first base and you could play Mac at 2,100 and get both of them in there, which is nice because it helps offset the cost of Liam Hicks a little bit. Obviously Edwards and Lopez, they always give you upside with their running ability. So don't mind Miami. You're on the road here against Ober. You're guaranteed getting that ninth inning for at bats, which is always nice. Little bump there. So, like Miami, I think they're interesting. When Yuri Perez has struggled this year, it's just been power in general, both sides of the plate. A lot of power to righties too. So, like this could be a sneaky like Buxton Jeffers spot, righty. They both have plenty of power against right-handed pitching. Clemens is always someone that has plenty of power upside as well. Problem is, like Miami's bullpen's been really good, which is weird to say out loud sometimes, but you're just so used to like not saying stuff like that for certain teams. But they've been really good this year, so I don't know how much I would really stack this spot. I think I'd play more of like one-offs or two-man like small stacks, but Buxton's expensive. Jeffers is expensive. Not a lot of people are going to play them. I don't mind getting some exposure to Minnesota here against Perez. Like I said, more mini stacks. I could even see like 3 or 4 man stacking, like a 4-4 type of stack here with Minnesota. But just remember that Miami's bullpen has been really good. But if you get to Perez really early and he's struggling and you score a lot of runs off Perez early, you're not going to get the good part of that bullpen anyway. But, it is Tuesday. This team did not play on Monday, so bullpen is definitely fresher typically on these types of days, which is just something to kind of keep in mind. We got San Diego at Milwaukee. 8.5 total in this one. Milwaukee a 130 favorite. Matt Waldron, Brandon Sprout. Waldron, I mean, when the knuckleball is dancing and he is pitching well, he could do exactly what he did last time out. Like 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, 67 pitchers in San Francisco. Gave up 1 home run on 2 hits. He was pitching really well. This Milwaukee team, I definitely prefer left-handed pitching against. Trino's back too, which is a huge bump to this team. When they get Yelich back, it's going to be even better. This lineup would be even better. So, obviously we're waiting on that a little bit, but don't think I want to play Waldron here. Brandon Sprout, he really didn't pitch bad last time out. He just couldn't locate his pitches as well. He only went 4 innings, 76 pitches, but he had a lot of walks. He's right on the verge of putting it together and just hasn't put it together yet. San Diego is a pretty low strikeout team. They're lacking power this season, which is just weird. Fernando Tatis has a 25 ISO on the season. Jackson Murrell against right-handed pitching for Tatis. I don't know where he's at against lefties, but right-handed pitching. Murrell and Machado's numbers are down. Sheets, Bogarts have been solid, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I want to play Brandon Sprout here, but I don't know. San Diego's been a tough team. They're really cheap now. Outside of Tatis is 5K. He's yet to hit a home run this season. He's 5K. He does have 10 stolen bases and can add upside that way too, but just really lacking power, absolutely no power for Fernando Tatis this season. So I don't necessarily love the San Diego stack. I think there's better options on this slate. Kansas City, Chicago, Miami. The Padres are gutless. Yeah, I mean, didn't we talked about this last year a lot, didn't we? I just remember I felt like, I don't know, I thought chat talked about it a lot last year between the morning grind and doing some stuff with roto grinders. I just remember talking a lot about the Padres. So if you see me, if you're watching live and you're kind of wondering what I'm doing, I was looking for something on my desk and I couldn't find it. I don't know where it went. Fingernail clippers, and I have a fingernail that is driving me insane. Anyway, I didn't see what McGreevy did to them. Did he dominate them? That would make sense though. As far as Milwaukee bats, when Waldron's off, he's usually off. He really struggles with left-handed power, a lot. 430 ISO in the season, 500 WOBA, 53% hard hits, getting barreled 11% of the time. So, if you're going to play Milwaukee, Mitchell, Terang, Jake Bowers, Frelick, Ty Black. You can play any. I think you can play any of the Milwaukee lefties. And if you're playing Milwaukee, I definitely would include Trino in my stacks. But Bowers at 4,300, he is having a really solid season, and they just refuse to price him up. DraftKings has Tatis at 5K averaging 6.8, Bowers averaging 8.2 at 4,300. So it's a nice little advantage there. Mitchell 4K, Contreras 3,900. Milwaukee, I love stacking Milwaukee. They never get ownership. They're underpriced and they just score runs in bunches. They just don't hit a bunch of home runs, which we are chasing home runs, but yeah. Arizona at Texas, 8 total in this game. Texas, a 136 favorite. Yeah. Zach Gallen, Mackenzie Gore in this one. Zach Gallen continues to just have his strikeout issues. He's just not missing bats. Like, I think he finally had his second, like, 5 strikeout game last time out against Pittsburgh. I bet his under strikeouts. I was frustrated with that. And, like, he got hit hard in that game, and he still got there strikeouts wise. I was so frustrated. But I don't want to play Zach Gallen today. He's just not missing bats. He's sitting at 14.8% strikeout rate on the season. I looked into this last time. Like I said, I bet his under strikeouts and he got there, which is tilting. But he really, like, his advanced stats don't look good. Like, he really is struggling just to miss bats. He's throwing his slider a lot more this season than he did in years past. And I don't necessarily hate that, but it's not working as much as it should be. His knuckle curve is getting hit very hard. His fastball is getting hit very hard, and he just continues to throw his fastball, 38.5% of the time. Velocity and everything looks very similar to years past. It's not working. Like, he's just not missing bats. His best pitch has been his changeup here. And he only throws it 12% of the time. So if I see it, you should be able to see it too. I don't want to play Zach Gallen though. Other side, Mackenzie Gore is always somebody I like to play. I love his ceiling. 27% Ks on the season. Like, the one thing with Mackenzie Gore is he can get blown up. He has innings where he just walks a lot of people and he struggles. But, in the DFS world where we're chasing ceiling, he has plenty of it. He started the season great. He's looked awful in his last 5 starts. The walks are a huge problem for him, just in general. The one thing that I will say is this is not a high walk rate team against left-handed pitching, so that's always good. Always check who the umpire is when he's pitching. But Arizona has the 3rd lowest walk rate against left-handed pitching this season, so that's a good thing for Mackenzie Gore, who walks a lot. This is a team I don't mind getting left-handed pitching against. I think he's worth tournament upside for sure. It's just, again, it's a command thing for him. I hate pitchers that are struggling with command, but where the slate is at, like, his strikeout upside's too high. Some of his advanced stats look really good. It's command. Like, that's what it is. It's not a whiff rate thing. It's not anything else. Like, he has put away pitches. He is just really struggling with commanding the baseball. And it's hurting him a lot this year. As far as bats for Arizona, anytime you have a pitcher that's struggling with command, you could stack against him. He hasn't allowed a home run in 3 straight, even though he's gotten hit. Like, he's given up 11 earned runs in those starts. And then he has games where he just gives up a lot of home runs in a row. Marte, Vargas. Problem is they don't have a lot of right-handed power in this lineup. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Like, Marino is not a great power guy. Arenado is not like a huge power guy at his point in his career. Gary L is not a big power guy anymore. So, like, that's where I just struggle. You could play Corbin lefty, I guess. You're trying to get to the bullpen fast, but Texas has the best bullpen in baseball this year. So, like, if Gore can go 5 or 6 clean innings here, like, your stack's probably not working. Texas bats. I like the Texas bats a lot today for a low owned stack. I don't think a lot of people will be playing Texas today. And Zach Gallen, like I said, he's just kind of really been struggling to miss bats. So obviously I build around like Corey Seager. Evan Carter has good numbers this year. Josh Jung is healthy and looks really good at the plate. And like the stack is pretty cheap. Like Seager's only 4,900, Nimmo's 4,400, Jung is 4,200, Carter's 3,500, Berger's 3,200, Duran is 3K. Whoever catches is cheap. So the stack, like overall, is pretty cheap here. So I like that potential. Um, yeah, I think Texas is a low owned stack that could potentially get there. And again, Zach Gallen, like pitchers that are struggling to miss bats, I always love stacking against them. So yeah, we got Seattle at Houston. Yeah, Seattle at Houston, 8.5 total in this game. Seattle's a 156 favorite. We got Woo against Imai. Imai's coming off the IL. It says that he threw 63 pitches in his last rehab start. I don't know how far he'll really go in this game, pitch count wise. So that's obviously a problem. Such a cool name though. What is it? Tatsoya? I think is how it's said. Anyway, starting with Wu, I mean, can I just repeat everything I just said about Zach Gallen for Brian Wu? Because I feel like it's the exact same situation where he really hasn't missed bats. I know he pitched incredible his last time out. Like, I don't know, maybe he found something, maybe something he was doing. But he absolutely dominated Atlanta last time out. 9 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed, 6 innings, 30 plus DK points. On the season, his strikeout stuff has been way down, getting barreled a little bit heavier, swinging strike rates down, whiff rates down, like everything's down. Hard hit rates up, fly ball rate is up. So like a lot of the advanced stats look really bad for Brian Wu facing a team that doesn't strike out very often. Bryce Matthews, Cam Smith, if Zach Cole's in there, like, do you have some potential strikeouts? But like Altuve's back, he's a low strikeout guy. Alvarez is back, he's a low strikeout guy. Paredes, Walker, like the overall lineup is not a high strikeout team. So I think I'm off of Wu. He's gonna have to prove it to me again. Amaya is interesting, and it's more of like the strikeout stuff seems like legit. He absolutely dominated the Athletics earlier this year before he got hurt against Seattle, where he had like he just could not throw strikes. I think I wait and see in this spot. More of like I don't know how many pitches they're really going to give him here. Coming off the IL, only throwing 3 innings in his last rehab start, so I don't mind picking on Seattle. They have like a mix of like high strikeout hitters, but I think I'm gonna have to wait and see on my. If I'm gonna play Seattle, Donovan, Cal Riley, Luke Rayleigh. Luke Rayleigh's been crushing the ball this year. Canzone. Glad that Donovan's back. It makes the stack better overall. But if Amaya is not ready to be back, if Amaya's not ready to be back here and he just struggles in this spot, the Seattle stack could work. They're on the road in Houston. You get that 9th inning, which is nice. I don't mind Houston either. I think this is a game that could be a little sneaky. So I don't mind some of these Houston bats, like Alvarez just crushing the ball this year. Walker's having a good year. Trying to think. I don't love Altuve. He's cheap though. Paredes is pretty cheap. Cole's 2,500 if you want to play Cole. Braden Shoemaker is really cheap at 2,400 at shortstop. If you want to go cheap with him, he has some pop. I think there's cheap enough bats where the stack makes a lot of sense against Wu. If he's struggling again, all right, we got St. Louis at the Athletics. 10.5 total in this game. I looked at multiple places too, just to make sure that it wasn't a mistake. And it's 10.5 Athletics, 150 almost everywhere. Palante and Springs facing off against each other here. No respect for the pitchers in this game. Massive total. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be. I will say, like, I was looking it up earlier. I was like, this total is really high, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be like 86, wind blowing out, like great hitting conditions in this game. For Jeffrey Springs, like a lefty against St. Louis is interesting. The total has me way just kind of thrown off here. Like the team has struggled with left-handed pitching for the most part this year, like outside of Jordan Walker. In large field tournaments, if you're playing a bunch of teams, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of exposure to Springs. I love the bats in this game. Just want to say I love the bats in this game. I don't want to play Palante. I love the bats in this game. But if you wanted to take some shots on Springs, like this is a team that struggles with left-handed pitching, so right-handed pitching, St. Louis kind of all over the place. They have plenty of upside, but left-handed pitching, they're very middle of the road. They're a beatable team against lefties. So, but in these hitting conditions, I want to stack both of these offenses. So let's start with the St. Louis bats here against Springs. Walker double dong. I mean, Jordan Walker might be one of the best hitters on this entire slate. Like facing a lefty, great hitting conditions. Like this just screams like a Jordan Walker spot. So like I hear you, Derek. I agree. Like Jordan Walker, incredible spot. I like Herrera at 3,800. I think the price tag for him is great. We saw Herrera have a lot of power against left-handed pitching last season. That's where it just gets tough after that, though. Like if if he catches, or I guess he plays second base. Why did I think he caught? Is there another catcher that's named Fermine? San Diego? 2,500, second base, eligible righty in this spot. Like, Win is somebody I think you could play here at 3,500. My two favorite hitters here, though, are Walker and Herrera. Like, by far, my two favorite hitters in this spot. I wouldn't mind playing a few lefty spots like Weatherholt, Burleson if they're in there. The pinch hit risk is a little concerning. Do they DH Herrera and get Paez in there as well? I still prefer Herrera. The Athletics bullpen's not great. The St. Louis bullpen's not great. Great hitting conditions. Like this is not one of those spots that I think you necessarily want to overthink. I think you want to play bats in this game. The Athletics are my top stack on the entire slate. I love the Athletics slate. Palante is a pitch to contact guy. I talk about this guy all the time. He's a pitch to contact guy that's just getting hit really hard. This ballpark with this hitting conditions, I love the Athletics today. Like I said, they're my top stack on the slate. They're going to be my highest owned stack. Kurtz, Langoliers, Rucker, Soderstrom, Cortez, Geloff. Like I want to pay for all these guys today. Cortez at 4K is a great steal. If Wilson's out, like you could potentially get a little bit of value here. There's a couple cheap bats towards the bottom of this lineup that might play today. So and I thought, hold on, let me pull this up really quick because I thought I read this somewhere. Let me hold on. Yeah, so Henry Bolt is supposed to get called up today. He's a righty, so it'd be interesting to see if they start him here. But he's fast and has power. He's like I think he's like fourth or fifth prospect, second like hitting prospect or positional player prospect for the Athletics. He's supposed to get called up. He's 2,500 here. So it sounds like they are going to call up Henry Bolt and Jacob Wilson's going to go on the IL from the article I just found. So watch that. That could be really, really key here. Bolt at 2,500 would be a great spot for like this would be a great spot for him to have his like debut. I don't think he played last year, right? I don't pretty sure he didn't play last year. So pay attention to that little nugget. All right, we finish it with San Francisco at LA taking on the Dodgers. 9 total in this game. Dodgers a 286 favorite. Hauser against Yamamoto in this one. Adrian Hauser is a below average strikeout pitcher, 11% on the season. Really struggles with left-handed power. Gives up a ton of hard contact, a lot of barrels. Not playing him against Dodgers. It's as simple as that. Yamamoto on the other side of this game, chalkiest pitcher on the slate. I don't know if he has the highest ceiling on the slate, but floor-wise, probably has the highest floor of any pitcher on the slate. So, yeah, I mean, slate alone, I like him a lot. He's going to be chalky. I don't really care. Like sometimes I care. Today I don't care. I'm going to play Yamamoto as like probably my highest owned pitcher on the slate. San Francisco is not a team I'm scared about. They strike out a lot. Like they're striking out a ton. Outside of a head stack for the Giants, not a spot I want to play them. Yamamoto has struggled with like left-handed power bats this season, but the advanced stats look really good. There's a lot of positive stuff that Yamamoto should be increasing his numbers against lefties here. So yeah. Love the Dodgers. I hope they're low owned because they're, this 10 o'clock game, they're expensive. If you're winning a tournament early, unless you have like multiple guys that have hit like 3 home runs, like the Athletics and Dodgers late night stacks are going to be a thing. We're going to be on the podcast tomorrow, and I'm going to be like watching these bats and be like, man, we're sweating here because obviously a really good spot for Ohtani, Freeman, Tucker, Muncy, Kim, any of the lefties. I don't mind the righties, but Hauser is a big ground ball guy, especially to righties. So like Betts is a fly ball hitter, won't affect him. Will Smith, fly ball hitter. This is one of the spots I wish they'd give Will Smith a day off. And we got our boy rushing in here, but I highly doubt that happens. Freeman at 46 is a great price. Muncy at 44 is a great price. Betts at 44 is a great price. Like I said, Kim at 2,800 is great if you're not paying up for a shortstop. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe and like button over there on YouTube. Turn on notifications. I do go live when I can. Like overall, like tonight I started a lot later than I usually do because I got home late. But I try to do 3 to 4 podcasts a week. I've been decently consistent about 3 podcasts a week. So if you hit that subscribe, turn on notifications, you'll see when I'm going live. Always on YouTube the next day. Just click the Morning Grind YouTube, go live, or Spotify, iTunes, however you get your podcasts. It's always on there as well. So appreciate that. Who's my favorite second pitcher today? I feel like it's a loaded question. I feel like my second, like SP2, would be pretty spread out between like McClanahan, Peralta, Gore, maybe a little Springs, like I said. I don't have like a SP2 that I'm absolutely in love with today. I think they're all very similar. I might even play a little bit of Woo, but highly doubt I'll play a lot of him, if any. My second favorite pitcher is probably Peralta, even though I don't necessarily love that. McClanahan, probably McClanahan. He's been so efficient lately, so probably McClanahan. Like even paying up for Yamamoto at 95 and McClanahan at 9K, you get almost 4,000 per hitter. That's going to get you a lot of the stacks you like today. There's a lot of value on the slate. All right, morning grind game under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. None of these guys. Um, but seriously, none of these guys. I don't know if any of these guys get 6 or more strikeouts, right? I mean, if I had to pick somebody, oh man, yeah, none of them. Yeah, I don't like saying none for the game purposes. I don't think any of these guys get 6 or more strikeouts. Maybe I'll go Grant Holmes, I guess. Yeah, him or Waldron, maybe. I don't know. Over 8K to score under 15. My bust of the day, I'm going Yuri Perez. Over 4K to hit a home run, give me Jordan Walker. Under 4K to score 10 plus points, give me Michael Harris. Stack to score 6 or more runs, the Athletics. Did not do a prop bet or anything. I'm not necessarily saying pay up for pitching today, but I'm definitely saying I like a lot more paying up than paying down pitchers today for sure. So my Patreon will have my MLB bets that I'm betting today. As always, typically Tuesday through Friday, depending on my Fridays. Sometimes I bet on Mondays, but hardly ever bet on Mondays. So hope everyone has a fantastic Tuesday. I will be back tomorrow, probably later, like this type of podcast. So appreciate everyone hanging out and have a great Tuesday. See you all on Wednesday.